From IQD Calls chat room. Posted by Bob S., August 6, 2017 Saturday p.m. Sponsored the signing of the Japan exchanged notes with ceremony Baghdad/morning with greater determination and responsibility and ensure the continuation of victories. The Prime Minister made the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Dr. Haider Abadi, a new success represents silence voices that seek to sow division, when he said, "The popular crowd will not solve and will remain under the leadership of the state and the religious authority." Assurances of Prime Minister came at a time when the province of Babylon visited it in an effort to improve the services provided to citizens. Ebadi said in a speech at a Fatwa Victory Festival held by Abbas Squad Fighting on Saturday, the Fatwa Ulki Jihad turned into a Fatwa victory, after HB Sons of the Country in response to the Fatwa, Sayyid Ali al-Sistani, noting that Iraq will remain and triumph and radiates hope to others. He noted that victory makers are the martyrs and the wounded fighters, as well as medical engineering effort, and heroes of the Air Force and other Aliznov. Dr. Abadi warned those who are trying to sow discrimination, saying, "There is a coherence between the people and our security forces and the state," noting that, "We are facing major challenges after the liberation of land is to preserve the unity word." During his visit to the province of Babylon, the Prime Minister held a meeting with their portfolios and the President and members of the Provincial Council in the presence of security leaders. The meeting took place during the discussion of service and security situation in the province, and ways of upgrading them, in addition to remove obstacles to projects to serve the sons of Babylon. In the meantime, the Prime Minister stressed that the victory had we created together and we must keep it together. He said in a speech in front of a large gathering of young people at the Victory Festival, which was held in the Babylonian Theatre, "Young people hope that Iraq can not Oxlow have contributed to the victory and will contribute to building the country." Abadi also sponsored yesterday the signing of the pleadings exchanged between Iraq and Japan for the rehabilitation of Hartha thermal plant ceremony, Phase 2, in the province of Basra, at a cost of $195 million. He said in a speech in front of a large gathering of young people at the Victory Festival, which was held in the Babylonian Theatre, "Young people hope that Iraq can not Oxlow have contributed to the victory and will contribute to building the country." Abadi also sponsored yesterday the signing of the pleadings exchanged between Iraq and Japan for the rehabilitation of Hartha thermal plant ceremony, Phase 2, in the province of Basra, at a cost of $195 million. He said in a speech in front of a large gathering of young people at the Victory Festival, which was held in the Babylonian Theatre, "Young people hope that Iraq can not Oxlow have contributed to the victory and will contribute to building the country." Abadi also sponsored yesterday the signing of the pleadings exchanged between Iraq and Japan for the rehabilitation of Hartha thermal plant ceremony, Phase 2, in the province of Basra, at a cost of $195 million. Najaf/Hussein Kabi, new Emir of Kuwait, Sheikh Sabah al-Ahmad al-Jaber al-Sabah, his country's keenness to support the Iraqi government and people, expressed his readiness to facilitate the work of Kuwaiti investors in Iraq, to strengthen the relationship between the two countries and the exchange of experiences in various fields. The transfer of the governor of Najaf away al-for Sheikh Sabah after meeting in Kuwait. Congratulations to the people of Iraq following the victories achieved by the security forces to organize Daesh terrorist. He is stressing that he met with a great welcome from Sheikh Sabah, the demands presented to His Highness Yassiri said the morning. It was a detailed presentation during the meeting with Prince Al Sabah on the investment aspects and economic resources owned by the province of Najaf, which encourages investors and owners of capital to work in the province, he said, adding that he had asked Kuwait's Emir. The World Economic Forum held at the Dead Sea Conference during May 2017 under the theme of Empowering Generations Towards the Future and focused discussions on the subject, in essence, run youth forces in the digital age or the current fourth technological revolution. Faced with the phenomenon of the inability of large companies from the broad operation of the labor force young to bring high-density technology as well as the inability of governments to provide employment opportunities, especially from the young nations. The proportion of young people in which about 6% of the total labor force, due to walk down the principle of effective small e, government, so the available to run opportunities are reaching the so-called ecosystem, any accelerated interdependence for all energies talented for young people and capacity leadership supported Balapetgurt that deal with the digital age to form kegs productive work and beneficiaries at the same time, through behavioral phenomena administrative dynamics, called idiomatically change radically creative disruption, a combination of managerial leadership and the ability to innovate and talent to generate products and new markets are all based on the ecosystem, strong small and medium sized enterprises interconnected digitally. Voltrabotat between inputs for small and medium enterprises and outputs that deal IT capabilities mutual all come, as an interactive, to maximize the efficiency of production and the introduction of new products generating new markets as ZKR.AMA. The role of the state will remain equipped with the foundation of infrastructure, physical and legal, and to facilitate business and simplification of procedures, with an emphasis on the principle of partnership and interaction between the state and the market. Also, it raised important economic theory in the concept of the digital market balance issues, for example, taking the Marshall Law in the supply and demand, for price fixing equilibrium, a new concept in the digital market balance. Digital equilibrium is representing equivalent prices or demand with supply. Where the display here contain all the problems, including infrastructure, government bureaucracy, and other problems, and get off to them alone minimum optimization by simplifying procedures and transparency of the supervisory regulations. Thus, the summary of the ideas that came out of the ecosystem. ANFA is the main director of the operating system and the face of unemployment through the new product that is easy to achieve the growth of these digital tools, intensity and capabilities of information technology, both in the establishment of business incubators, UCIAD system for residential units, low-lying cost, or the use of solar energy or new technologies in agriculture, or the use of artificial intelligence, i.e., through the establishment of small units. Medium and interconnected production operates a unified digital base in the exchange of information to form Bahalnzam ecological optimization, which will be a powerful force essential for the operation of the Power Alpyung confidentiality. Noticed that Iraq in the current circumstances is in dire need for an effective step to assemble small and medium-sized enterprises, leading to the formation of the nucleus of a system of ecological internal financing, international or both, from international funding agencies, or has a project central bank lending or other to achieve the digital age and prerogatives in the operation of the energies working young generation new products in accordance with the soft base information for each product grouping, for example, are not limited to. Notice that the Arab world currently spends annually on the translation of more than $1.2 billion, a chance to establish units translation tools, modern digital activity component of the ecosystem, and examples of PLE so many. Thus we see the importance of walking a new digital era for Iraq and Damton. Main points: the first is, to start setting up a system for companies leading youth, SMEs, in various fields such as agriculture, construction, and branches of digital production innovations, exclusively in coordination between the relevant ministries of higher education, youth, sports, labor and social affairs and planning, as well as the World Bank, and benefit from the vast experience in this regard. The other, the creation of the necessary means to encourage the establishment of small leading companies for innovative products and create new national markets, as the leading young companies implicated in one synthesis system works according to a database and data efficient order to realize the economy of a digital real, which means the use of internet networks to facilitate business exchange and contractual society, with emphasis on the principle of availability of digital justice, i.e., making use of the internet operations available to all without discrimination or restricted to specific community groups. London/follow-up to the morning. Bank of England Governor of Mark Carney said the financial services sector in Britain could double its size several times during the next quarter century, to be carried out according to the process Breed plotted its plan. Carney said on the occasion of 10 years after the global financial crisis, the volume of business in the UK services sector could increase during the 25 years, the next 15 to 20 times the size of the gross domestic product worth £38 trillion levels of GDP currently. The gross domestic product of the British economy is now about £1.9 trillion a year. He said. The Bank of England Governor of the Recovery City, as it is called, Money and Business Centre in London, means more work and tax revenue opportunities and exports, but warned the expansion of SADI paces rapidly if it means repeating speculation risky as happened 10 years ago. Carney said that Britain has Bob S. out. Have a good evening. More at iqdcalls.com.